Hey, collective. Welcome back to the channel. So, on last week, my oldest daughter got married. So, I actually took a week off from reading as we prepared for that. And we made it through the nuptials and all that good stuff. So, it was definitely an amazing event, just in general. So just a little history there. I had my oldest daughter at the age of 17. I was a young mother. And because I was a young mother, my parents were always there for me, but my parents adopted my child in a sense. They put her in their name so that they could make sure she had the benefits and insurance that I had while I was carrying her and when she was first born. So, I'm thankful for my parents for sure. So her dad is an individual who I thought was my high school sweetheart, but obviously I was not his because while I was pregnant with my daughter, interesting that the devil showed up. When I was pregnant with my daughter, he left and cheated on me and is now married to the individual that he cheated on me with. So the wedding was it was an interesting dynamic because, of course, she has me as her mother. She has my mom as her mom. And then she has his wife as her bonus mom. So she had a lot of support at the wedding. It was a bit stressful for me because it was definitely a lot going on. But I wanted to make sure the Eight of Pentacles popped out. Diligence as I talked through this. I wanted to make sure she was comfortable and I can manage her spirit and her energy as much as I managed mine. So I actually want to do this reading or try to do this reading in two parts, right? I want to do it from a perspective of young mothers, right? Mothers who are having their first child, teenage mothers. And I know that a lot of times when we go through that, we feel like we're stuck. Is there a way out? Am I going to be able to be successful? So I want to do a positive reading for you guys only because as a teen mother, I was successful. You know what I'm saying? I made it out of it. I had to change my thought, change how I dealt with people, move myself out of circumstances, and strategize my life. As we talk about it, it took a lot of courage. The Nine of Wands popped up. But I made it out. I was an East Side girl and a woman of color, so I had a lot of stakes against me. But I did turn out pretty successful. Both of my children, I graduated with double masters, and both my oldest daughter who got married has a master's, and my youngest daughter is working on her master's. So we do my lineage, me and my daughters, the Ace of Pentacles popping out as I talk about it of abundance, are doing very well, right? So I want to give you guys some encouragement, and then the next portion of the reading, we'll discuss, once you get off into third quarter, right? Because when you're 16 or so, and you're a young mom, you're still in your first quarter because you hadn't reached 25, right? We're in a place where we're in contemplation and retreat, renewal, right? Solitude when we're younger. Like we don't really know what's going on. We don't really know how to deal with situations like that. We're trying to figure things out. So we relied on a lot of people at that time, right? But after you hit your 25 and you go in the second quarter, you think things are going to get a little bit more easier. But eventually, when you're in your third quarter, things will either go one way or another. It all depends on what you're doing at first and second quarter. So let's talk about it a little bit. The question that we would have is, what advice do we have for our young mothers out there? What advice do we have for our young mothers? So we ask that our spiritual ancestors come into the room. The great divine come into the room and watch over this reading, only in the way that he can do. We ask that the angels comfort us with their kind words and help lead this discussion or this reading positively. We look to our ancestors to rebuke any negative energy, any negative thoughts. Help us lead this reading with positive mindset. Whew, we're just falling out, right? We're going to stop there and see what it has to say. So I will say, differently, we're not doing current, past, present, and future because we are in the past. As a reminder, we're speaking to our younger selves, right? And the first thing I had spoke about was the success that we would have as we grew, right? That we have something to look forward to. So keep in mind, the first card that came out was your Nine of Pentacles. I always try to tell younger women who happen to become younger mothers and have a life as a teenager or become pregnant as a teenager that don't give up on yourself, because you never know what the future may bring. Like, your footsteps are ordered. You never know what tomorrow may bring. And our ancestors are telling us that you have something to look forward to, right? Continuing, you have the Seven of Pentacles, where you're just watching yourself flourish, right? You're watching yourself flourish. So let's look at this as if we're still looking at what we have to look forward to in the future as our young selves, right? Right? We're looking at this Six of Wands, where we're actually going towards positivities, recognition, victory, progress in life. So then going further back, we're looking at the Knight of Cups, where it comes to where we're following our hearts. A proposal probably came in somewhere along the way, right? And then we're also looking at further back when we're younger, and we're looking at the trickery. We're looking at the hurt that we went through, right? The betrayal that we went through as young mothers. Because like I told you, I was pregnant and my child's father went away. left me. And then we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. And there was a lot of confusion. So if you're looking at these cards, the way that they came out, this is from the age of 16 to now, right? I was pregnant. I was confused. Um, there was some betrayal there with my child's father. I had a lot of um, interest, right? But as you guys know, I'm still single today. Been married twice. But as life continues, you know, you have things that are going to come your way, positive things that are going to come your way. You're going to go through things, but you're going to see yourself progress. Like you're not going to stop here. And I guess that's the point that I'm trying to make. There's so many opportunities out there, which is why, as young mothers, we cannot give up on ourselves in our lives as individuals. And as we continue to move forward, as we progress in life, we start to see our financial grow, our careers, we're saving, we're in a better place, and once you hit the third quarter, baby, um, you're enjoying the fruits of your labor. You know what I mean? I say it's always positive, right? And I struggle with a lot of times. I'm a giver, just in general, at heart. And I'm very passionate about young mothers when it comes to them being single moms and their children, especially the ones that go through any abuse or any um, situations where, they're in homes for safety or whatever the case. I give back to them every year. So just watching my daughter marry had me thinking over life itself, right? And that's probably why the reading came out the way it did. And it couldn't have came out any better. You guys saw me shuffle the cards. It was not scripted. You saw the cards come out in the order that they were placed. Um, but it's touching to see the progress. And I hope that as you look at this reading, you actually can see where we all go through things, but at the end, if we just hang in there, if we just give ourselves time, all things are going to work out for the good. All things are going to work out in your favor. So this is going to be a short reading, but I do want to see what the angels have to say, what they have to add, right? I don't want to, I don't think there's anything truly to repair here, but I want you to keep in mind that there's favor over you. There's favor over your life as a young mother, right? You just have to trust in yourself and know that you can't give up on yourself. You have to continue. You have to put in a good fight, and you have to be able to move forward in life. I used to talk to my daughters all the time about don't make the same mistakes I made. Don't end up a single mom. Well, both of my children ended up single moms, but they both were willing to fight a good fight. And like I said, they're both doing well. And you just have to know, and this is so hard to say, but no one's going to really come to your rescue, right? There's a possibility as a young mother that your parents may be there if your parents are still in your life. But ultimately, this race begins and ends with you. Period, point blank. It don't begin with, and end with anyone else. So let's see what the angels have to add to this reading. What positive input would they like to give us? It's quick. First one is endurance. Ask for one more. If anything else, do you have anything else to share? Thank you. And transform, which is perfect. Okay. I just mentioned race. Putting in a good race, and endurance popped out. And endurance is telling us, I embrace patience and trust in the process. Patience is a virtue that allows us to persevere. By trusting the journey, we cultivate endurance and resilience. The angels remind you that in order to succeed, you must learn how to control your impatience and wait until the right outcome you deserve comes along. The second angel card that came out was transformation. And as we went through the reading, it showed how you were able to transform, how I was able to transform, because I always say I'm part of the collective too. Things may look like chaos at the very beginning, but look at where you ended. Just watching over the fruits of your labor. So transformation is saying all things in life change, and I adapt willingly and easily. The angels want you to know that you are now coming full circle. Remember this. You are ready to move on to the next stage of your life. But that doesn't mean you have to forget the past completely. All of the experience that have led you up to this point have equipped you with the tools to move forward. I can't say it any better than that, simply because I honestly try not to dwell on the past by any means. But I've learned so much over my life, I don't forget what I've gone through. I remember details of things that I go through. And as you grow in life, you continue to um, look, kind of have vivid visuals of the past, and understand why the great divine took you down that journey, right? Because biblically it says your footsteps are ordered, right? Your life, your journey is already prepared for you. You're already going to go through it. It's already been written and subscribed for you. You're not here for any reason. And I honestly believe that. So as you go through life, you're going to look back and say, oh, that's why I went through that. Oh, that now. Okay, well, that makes sense. And that's why I never take anything for granted. A lot of times in my reading, I talk about not dwelling. Like I talk about I often look at this card as looking back. I mentioned that. But again, this card is also about betrayal, right? And um, I always talk about not dwelling in the past. And just because you're remembering things from the past doesn't mean that you're dwelling there. Dwelling in the past means that you're not giving yourself an opportunity to move forward. You're just in stalemate. You're in hangman. You just stagnant. You won't go anywhere. But if you take the things, that you've been through in the past and you've ultimately just learned from them, honey, your actions going forward will be so calculated that will not only surprise other people, it'll surprise you. So we're gonna close this out with the Moonology card. And the one that flipped over is you're very close to achieving your goal. It's the Gibeus Moon. Oh, two of them came out. One was hiding. The other one was Disseminating Moon. Take time to breathe out. So I would assume that since this was stuck to the back of this one, it came out first. So if we're still looking at the cards from the age of 16 to now, from first quarter to now, remember we're talking about, of course, we had to always kind of take a breath. We always had to sit back. At least I did, because I was always in a position where I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? How I'm going to make it? I'm 16 and pregnant. My goodness. So that's always going to be your first thought, especially as a young mother who's bearing your first child. But if you just hang in there, you're going to be very close to achieving your goal. Again, breathe out, endurance, transformation, achieving your goal. Our cards began with confusion because we found out we were pregnant, betrayal because our baby dad left us. We had a number of suitors. Those are probably, thought men, thought women. For in this case, thought men. Then we started getting our lives together, getting recognition, evolving in our careers, watching our money grow. And now we're in third quarter. Success is here. So I guess this reading is a little bit about me, a little bit about my tale. And again, it couldn't have come out any better. But I kind of feel like I don't know. It's just, I hope if you run across this reading that you get out of it that you have so much more opportunity in life coming. So don't do not give up on yourself. Even if you find yourself in a position that I was at 16. That's what I want you to take away from this reading. Namaste.